T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. Stir it up and turn around. Come on, Trump, yeah. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. Oh, it's looking good and it feel all right now. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. I said it don't stop now. We feel all right. Makes us feel all right. I said Trump, 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 Trump. 'Cause he makes us feel so right, so right. Makes us feel all right. He's provide, that's provide. He's all right. Make us feel all right. I said Trump, 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 Trump.
Don't tell him, Jose.
Shake this system, come on, Trump, yeah. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. What happened? He's getting touched. He's getting touched. Shotguns, come on, Trump, yeah. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. Don't start cooking, we can eat out tonight now. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. I said it don't.
Someone's got to stop getting taxed.
Come on, Trump, yeah, come on, Trump. I said Trump, 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 Trump. 'Cause he makes us feel so right, so right. Makes us feel all right. That's provide. He's all right. That's provide. Makes us feel all right. I said Trump, 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 Trump.
All of the Donald Trump haters, all of the Hillary Clinton supporters, to all of the people that said that my Trump was going to lose.
Let me turn this on.
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in. You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much. I love you, Albany. Get out and vote. You will be so happy.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, New York City, who's ready to rally for Trump? That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hey, I gotta ask you a question. How do we want to refer to the audience today? You want me to call you patriots? Yeah. You want me to call you fellow Americans? Yeah. Hey, you want me to call you the
dregs of society like Joe Biden? What about a basket of deplorables like Crooked Hillary? Who needs those people, right? He's not one to talk. Hey, Peter Strzok. Peter Strzok. Do we like Peter Strzok? We don't like Peter Strzok. He said he could smell the Trump supporters in Ohio. We don't like Peter Strzok. One thing I know, Crooked Hillary, Joe Biden, Peter Strzok, they could only dream of a bunch of fellow American patriots rallying on a cold day in New York City for them. We're here for Donald Trump. This is the greatest president of our lifetime. New York City, let me hear you now. This is what it's like to be involved in one of the largest grassroots organizations this country has ever seen. He's an outsider. He had no chance. Cizilla from CNN, MSNBC, the fake news, all of these people who said there was no shot. And look at where we are today. We're ready to rock and roll. Mueller's going home. He's packed his bags. There's no collusion. And it's time to take off. Let's go. We have an opportunity here to turn the tables on the left, okay? They've lost control of what kept them sane. They were never sane in the first place, but now they've come unhinged. They're out of control. It's time to strike back. We're playing offense. They're not dormant anymore, but neither are we. Look at this crowd. We are in the greatest city in the world, unfortunately controlled by a socialist mayor who's bankrupting the city, but we're going to kick this party off the only way we know how. Look at our great flag. Where's our great flag? We have a great flag. Look at our great flag. All right, now, the first thing we're going to do, and it's the only time I'm going to ask you to do this today, is remove your hats, your wonderful Make America Great Again hats. Please place your hand over your heart. We're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this started. And we have someone who's going to do just that for us. We have a lot of energy. Remember how Donald Trump talked about Jeb Bush, very low energy. He's a low energy person, believe me. He's such a low, he doesn't get anything done because he's low energy, believe me. Do we like Jeb Bush? We don't like Jeb Bush. Okay, we're gonna give a high energy person to Raina Ferguson. She's gonna sing the national anthem. I need to remind you that we're in New York City. Do you know what else is in New York City? The league office of the NFL. And let me tell you about the NFL. There are a bunch of players and people and coaches and owners that don't like when people stand for the national anthem at attention. They don't like when people respect our great flag. Let me tell you something. I want the league office to hear us. I want Trump Tower to hear us. I want any of the left and the crazy, unhinged people to hear us. So we are going to stand loudly and sing proudly our national anthem. Where's Raina? There you are. Raina Ferguson up top. You're gonna kick it off for us, all right?
All right. Oh, say you see by the dawn's early light, we're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so proudly we hailed at the twilight's night sky. We're so
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how great was that performance? Give it up for Raina Ferguson. Woo! All right. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the foundations of the Make America Great Again movement is the preservation of some of our country's founding principles. It was Thomas Jefferson who said that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We know that our country is at a crossroads right now, left versus right, Republicans, Democrats, but really, it's at a crossroads between right and wrong, good versus evil. No matter what higher power you believe in, it is that higher power who grants you the unalienable rights that Thomas Jefferson himself listed and 55 other men signed their name to. When it comes to the left, they believe that government grants you those rights. Government is their God. The state is where it both starts and ends for them, which we know only leads to oppression, starvation, and genocide. We will not let that ideology take hold in our country. Our lives and the lives of the future generations of great American patriots greatly depend on the foundation we lay for them. Remember, government as an entity is responsible for so much death over the years, from the Nazis to the Soviets to Castro, North Korea, and now the tragedy that is unfolding in Venezuela. Do we want socialism in our country? No! Government does not protect the right to life. Government cannot foster a fetus. Government cannot give birth to a newborn, but they will not think twice to look the other way while yours are killed. Ladies and gentlemen, the first right listed by Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence was the right to life. Our next speaker is going to deliver our invocation today. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Pastor Joni, who will deliver our invocation as well as give a few words about how to cherish, love, and preserve the right to life in the United States of America. In the age of liberal post-abortion policies, including late-term abortions and disgusting policies signed by the governor in this very state, the right to life for all of us is in grave danger. Without further ado, please welcome Pastor Joni.
Hello, history makers! You know, you are history makers standing here today on this cold day to support our president, President Donald Trump. Aren't we glad that President Donald Trump is making America great again? Let's open up in a word of prayer. Father God, I thank you for everyone that came out today in support of our president. I pray that you protect us as we stand together in support of President Donald Trump. Lord, I ask you to protect our president. Father, that no weapon formed against him shall prosper. And every tongue that rises up against him, we know him himself will condemn. We ask you to protect our president, his wife, his family, and everyone that is under authority in him. And Lord, we pray that your word would be a lamp unto his feet and a light unto his path as he continues to make America great again. We ask you to surround our president president with men and women of authority, men and women of integrity that will support him and counsel him, people that love you and love this great nation. And Father, we pray that President Trump will once again win the election in 2020 so that he will continue to make our great nation great again. And we ask all these things in the mighty name of Jesus. And everybody says amen. Amen. Well, hello, history makers. My name is Pastor Joni Lupus, and I am honored to be the president of March for Life New York. March for Life New York is a non-for-profit ministry that protects the unborn and educates the public on the horrors of abortion. Every Monday night, we have a show that goes out all over the world to different countries that teaches the world on the horrors of abortion. And every year we have our annual March for Life New York. I want to invite every one of you to come out on June 3rd to Albany, to the New York State Capitol building for the 4th annual March for Life New York. We're going to be meeting inside the Empire Plaza. Inside the Empire Plaza is a memorial that's been built for all the children of New York who have been brutally murdered or abused. We will meet there for prayer, and then we will march to the New York State Capitol, to the steps of our Capitol, for a pro-life rally. Amen. And we invite you all to join us on June 3rd. You know, here in New York, 1 out of every 3 babies are brutally murdered by abortion. And I'll tell you, they are brutally murdered. Who knows if those babies would have grown up to save us in some way, to heal us of cancer or some disease. But every child that we lose is one too many. And now in New York, the governor and the Democrats want the babies to die. They could kill them an hour before birth. They could be brutally murdered. And you know what? If they live through the abortion, they will leave them there to suffer and die. And I want you to know that every Democrat, every one that is running in 2020 for president, every Democrat voted to murder these innocent babies. I want to ask you, if they don't care about these innocent children, do you really believe they care about us? These Democrats are the party of death. Our governor is a man that wants to kill innocent babies. President Trump loves the babies. He has a heart for babies. He had said that every child born and unborn is created in the holy image of God. President Trump made a statement. He said, one thing we should all have in common is that we protect innocent life. But the Democrats don't want to protect life. They want to kill. So I ask you to support President Trump in 2020. President Trump wants to make America great again. You know, we don't need another politician that's going to give us empty promises. We need President Trump because he has kept all his promises. And he will continue to drain the swamp. So are you tired of winning? Because I'm not. So let's make sure that we do everything we can to support President Donald Trump. And make sure that we campaign for President Trump because he wants to continue to make America great again. God bless our president and God bless America. Thank you.
gentlemen, that was Raina Ferguson again. God bless America. Give it up for Raina. All right, listen, I see a couple of really cool flags, some really cool signs out there. Who's having a good time, New York City? Awesome stuff, man. This is great. Okay. Pastor Joni's words, including Raina singing God Bless America, was great. Hey, look at that. Look at that sign right there. Look at that flag. It says ICE. Do we love ICE? That's what I'm talking about. First, before we move forward, I want to give a shout out to all active service or active duty veterans, police, firefighters, first responders, and the likes. Let's give everybody who is there defending our great country and what makes our country great a huge, high energy, Make America Great Again round of applause. Thank you to the NYPD for being here, providing us the protection each and every day. Specifically, we have a couple of veterans in attendance today. One of them, his name is Edward Rowan, U.S. Marine Corps, Platoon 3099, served from 1985 to 1993. Let's give it up for Edward Rowan. And a big thank you to anybody else in the audience who has and will continue to serve our country. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you and I respect you. Okay, we do cherish the right to life. We are lucky. We are very lucky to live in such a great country, lucky to live in a constitutional republic where, despite the Democrats' best efforts through spying, corruption, fake dossiers, ridiculous special counsel investigations, by the way, he's gone. By the way, just check, there's still no collusion. Lucky that despite those police state tactics, our voices count. Our voices mean something. We elect our leaders. We hold government accountable. But we can only do that if we continue to keep responding to the left with energy and passion. Do we have energy and passion today? I feel it. I love it. I feel it. I can feel that energy, and we've got to make it count. Now, let me just tell you a quick personal story. By the way, do we love Justice Kavanaugh? That's what I'm talking about. And Gorsuch. Gorsuch is the man. We had Gorsuch for a little bit, but let me just tell you, during the Kavanaugh hearings, I finally changed my party affiliation. It may seem strange to you. I got a Trump hat on. I got this shirt that says I'm 1024th Irish, which, if we don't know, is the same percentage that Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, is the Native American. How Irish am I? 1024th, right? Okay. Believe it or not, I was a victim of the liberal indoctrination process known as our education system. I left high school a registered Democrat and an Obama supporter. Although, lucky for me, during his first election, I was not old enough to vote. Okay? When he was reelected, I did not vote for him. I voted for Mitt Romney. But up until Kavanaugh had his character wrongfully assassinated, my voter card had a big, ugly D on it, and it was disgusting. But that changed. That changed because I could no longer be a statistic that belonged to them. If there is anyone out there at all who needs to either update their party affiliation or continue to update others, please do so. If you are from a state like this state that requires you to be a member of a party to vote in its primary, make the change. Lisa Bennett Joseph is here to talk to you about voter registration and how important it is. And I am excited to turn it over to Lisa to do so. Lisa, it's all you.
All you deplorables out there. My name is Lisa Joseph, and I am an American First Jewish Trump supporter. But I wasn't always a Republican. I was raised a Democrat. I woke up because Donald Trump walked down that escalator. Like most Americans, I took for granted my God-given rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not paying attention to what was going on right under my nose. When Donald Trump woke me up and I realized what was going on in this world, I could not sit back anymore and do nothing. So I voted for Donald Trump, and we helped get Donald Trump elected. That was the greatest day. But then I sat back and I watched the fake news media attack him. I watched the Democrats attack him. And I watched our own never-Trumpers attack him. And I felt so helpless. I didn't know what to do. I can't go to Washington. I can't go work for him and support him. So I did the only thing that I could do. I called my local GOP headquarters office and said, what can I do to get involved to help Trump on a local level? So, for the last 2.5 years, I've been working tirelessly with my local GOP to help get local politicians elected to go to Washington to help Donald Trump. Woo! But now we see the stakes are even higher today with the Democrat socialist policies that have invaded the Democrat Party, and the party of my parents is gone. We face an existential crisis with our Constitution and with our way of life. Now is the time to get off our keyboards and get to work. The Democrat machine has people out there with voter registration by the thousands, making sure that everyone is registered Democrat. But I'm here to tell you that ain't gonna happen while I'm standing here. We have over 100 million unregistered voters in America. That cannot stand anymore. We have got to get out in the streets. Each and every one of us take some personal responsibility for our country and get those voters registered Republican. One thing that I've done for my party up in Connecticut is Scott Pressler, the Persistence. I don't know if any of you know Scott Pressler. He is a national trainer for voter registration. He is coming to my town to do a seminar on how to get out the vote. And I suggest anybody who's affiliated with the GOP to look him up and get him on board at a local level to help you. One thing that I know is we have a lot of voters out there that voted in the 2016 election for Donald Trump and haven't voted since. We need to make sure that we're reaching out to those voters and making sure they get to the polls. If they can't get to the polls, making sure we drop off absentee ballots to them. It is our duty as American citizens to protect this country from socialism.
Get the juice out.
I would rather walk my dog than eat him. Thank you very much. Please, I want each and every one of you to take a personal responsibility today to try to get at least 5 unregistered voters in your community to sign up and vote for Trump. We are in a fight, and the only way we can win is if we beat the Democrats at their own game at the ballot box. We have 11 states now that have decided that they're going to forego their power of the unacceptable. It's more important now that we beat them in the popular vote as well to make those states eat it. I will work every day to help re-elect Donald Trump for 2020. We have to stand together, united as a community, and fight back against the left. The only way we can do that is at the voting booth. It is so important to make sure your neighbors, your friends, everyone in your community has been reached out to, and make sure they go vote. Also, I just want to say that I am so grateful that I am no longer a Democrat, that I am a proud Trump deplorable. I stand with my brothers and sisters today, and I am ready to work with Donald Trump to keep our country great. I have been lied to, I have been spit on, I have had the SPLC come after me, I have had fake news media write bogus stories about me. I don't give a shit. You will never, ever get me to stop supporting our fine president. USA! 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 And I stand here as a proud Jewish Trump supporter and say the left is anti-Semitic and it is going down. I will not tolerate the left going after Israel and all of us who support Israel for Palestine. Sorry, no way. Please make sure that you vote. So thank you very much for coming out, and let's keep America great!
Trump 2020! Trump 2020!
Trump 2020! Trump 2020! Trump 2020! Trump 2020!
Come on, let me hear you!
2020!
Trump 2020! Trump 2020!
Trump 2020! Trump 2020!
Ladies and gentlemen, are we tired of winning yet? Okay, hey, that's cool. No worries, no worries. Hey, there's never a bad time for the national anthem, right? Never a bad time, never a bad time. That was powerful, and let me just tell you, do you remember back in the 2016 campaign when Crooked Hillary and the Democrats, they came at you, they told you love Trump's hate and all this nonsense, but this is the most hateful group in America. Do you remember that? Because love does Trump hate. Hey, they call us, this beautiful, I mean, look, everybody's so beautiful, by the way. I can see all the way to the back. There's just so many wonderful, beautiful faces, but let me tell you, they call us racist. They call us xenophobic. Anybody out there listen to the Dan Bongino podcast? They call us, Dan Bongino says they'll just stick an ist or a phobe on the end of any word. You'll be an istophobic, phobophobic, phobophobe at the end of the day. The left will stop at nothing to destroy your name, your career, your platform, and everything and everyone that you love. They are a violent bunch who claim to be anti-fascist, but they act in ways that only fascists act. They suppress, they oppress, they segregate, they discriminate, they refuse to acknowledge their double standard and that safe spaces for one orientation, race, or type of person, that is segregation. They refuse to acknowledge that censorship on the internet or in public is exactly how dictators have brainwashed and completely formatted the societies of their respective countries. They refuse to acknowledge that Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, who said that it was a means of exterminating the African American population. Margaret Sanger is not just a racist, she tried to commit genocide. But the left tells us that we do not accept African Americans. Are you kidding me?
Lock her up! Lock her up!
This is a hateful bunch. We are not. We respect one another. We adhere to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the fundamental rules that truly promote equality among all races and all faces, in all walks, and all places. Damn, why did I write that? That's really awful. My rhymes are not good. But our next speaker, or should I say performer, he's going to put me to shame. We are here not just to rally for our president and our country, because we know in 2020 we're going to keep America great, are we not? But we are also here to reject the socialist agenda of the far left. We are here to support one another, but also to put the country on our backs and carry her through these tough times. There is a performer named Digi. Does anybody know Digi? Anybody familiar with? Okay, you're in for a treat because he is going to perform a song for you today, and I encourage you to bring the same energy that you've been bringing all day long that we talked about to make it special. Give it up for Digi, everybody. He's coming up right now.
We're gonna ride this train together. 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 I say love and you say hate. I say respect and you say wait. Why can't respect? That would be great. Listen to you while you rant and rave. We're gonna ride this train together. We're gonna ride this train together. Times have changed, you lost your way, so hurtful now. Power you crave, you want control, you want my soul, you want a fight, I want what's right. The time has come for me to go, so listen to what I have to say. I encourage you all to walk away. We're gonna ride this train together. We're gonna ride this train together. Listen up. I reject intolerance, I reject your lies, I reject your slandering and your protest signs. I reject racism and misogyny, I reject bigotry and hypocrisy. All you wanna do is instigate. I'm telling you now, I reject hate. I think the time has come to reject the hate. I think the time has come to reject the hate. I think the time has come to reject the hate. We're gonna ride this train together. I think the time has come to reject the hate. I think the time has come to reject the hate. I think the time has come to reject the hate. We're gonna ride this train together. I walk with love, expect peace. I want the truth, I want the weak. I offer hope, so make the change. The time has come. Reject the hate. We're gonna ride this train together.
There's a few people we don't like. Let me hear a couple of your guys' opinions on some public figures out there. Anybody familiar with Adam Schiff? Okay. How about Duke Nukem, Eric Swalwell? Do we like Eric Swalwell? Hey, I have a great idea. Let's talk about Maxine Waters. What about Maxine Waters? Hey, we don't like Mad Max, huh? We don't like Mad. What about Spartacus? Cory Booker. I am Spart. No. Okay, great. Last but not least, how do we feel about crooked Hillary Clinton? How do we feel? How do we feel? That was the reaction I was looking for. Very good. How great was that? How great is all this? Everybody having a good time today? Are we having? It's a little cold, but who cares? They're having a good time. With so many different people coming together to just rock this thing together. With so much force, so much impact, so much meaning, this truly is special, and it wouldn't have been special without the turnout that you guys have, you guys came here on your own. I mean, it's awesome. It wasn't long ago that I found out about this rally and clicked on the going option on the Facebook group, which, by the way, is an awesome group. Who's in that Facebook? Everybody in that Facebook group online? How awesome is that group, by the way? Okay, well, it took me just one post to meet our next speaker, who I can say, even just hardly knowing her, I mean, we shared one train ride together. Even just hardly knowing her, I can tell that this is a great woman with an incredibly big heart and a love and passion for this country that burns so bright, it's damn near blinding. Some background on her topic, okay? As we all know, there is a little too much fake news out there that we have to combat every single day. Trump, they say, hates Hispanics. They say he hates this, he hates that. The wall is racist. How can a wall be racist, right? The wall is racist. The wall is immoral. The caravans are fake. Yada, yada, yada. By the way, they told us there was collusion, and for like the fourth time today, have they found any collusion yet? All right, now, I didn't think so.
The other side.
You're right. The other side. You are right. That's very true. They colluded. That's very true. The dossier. Well, I can tell you that in my line of work, I work in the paint industry, okay? In my line of work, I speak to so many people who have a background, much like Sylvia, who will be speaking to you very soon about what it's like to be a conservative and a Trump supporter with a Hispanic heritage and ethnic background. She has an incredible story to tell, not just about herself, but about her parents. And I don't want to ramble too much because I tend to get like that a little bit. I mean, if I'm boring you or you guys are like, hey, when's this guy going to stop talking? Listen, I don't blame you, but I speak to a lot of people like this. A quick aside, just 1 week ago, I was in the store, our power went out, and I had a gentleman who was in there for his church from Venezuela, and he started welling up because the power outage in the store reminded him of the power outages and the issues that are going on in his home country. So I want you to remember, and I want anybody who's maybe walking by on the sidewalks to remember. I want anybody who's across the street to remember. I want anybody who's in these buildings who says, who's that crazy person in a green hat, to remember that socialism, like in Venezuela, like in Cuba, like in North Korea, only breeds destruction, genocide, oppression, and starvation. Does anybody in this group ever want to find themselves eating from the back of a garbage truck? No. Do we want to reject socialism in this country? Yeah. We are going to hear from Sylvia, who is going to move all of us with this story. I've had the privilege to get a little bit of a background on what she's going to speak about. It's really, really touching, really moving. Without further ado, please give it up for Sylvia.
Sean, you are a gift to me and our committee. I just want to say thank you. A round of applause. This man is a miracle for me. Okay, so good afternoon, my deplorables. I used to be Sylvia Rodriguez Arias, but I am not. I am a Hispanic background, and I love this country, and I love my mother who gave me this heritage. I'm going to talk a little bit about her, but before I forget, thank you, Aiden, my friend Aiden, the visionary. I hope he speaks to you about the moment he woke up and said, we need to have a rally in New York! A rally, because this is a Democratic stronghold. I don't want us to be blue no more. Red is my color. USA, that's right, sing it in the caverns of New York. And I want to acknowledge my teammates, Tammy, Judy, Raina, Lisa, and Maya for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today. A special shout out to the speakers. I can't wait for Brandon Struck to come on the scene. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to stop myself from giving him a hug. So as love it. I have offered, I pleaded for an opportunity to give some insight of how my mother and father, so you bear with me, it's a long story. I'm 60 years old, I can tell you that. So my parents are from Cuban descent. My mom came off the boat. She was an illegal. They didn't really want her here, but she knew this was the land of opportunity. And you may think that she was a Republican from the onset, but she wasn't. My beautiful mother, who was an illegal alien, she wanted to be a part of this country. And she fought every day of those early years to become a naturalized citizen. And then after that, but when she became a naturalized citizen, they registered her as a Democrat because at that time they told her the Democrats were the party of the poor. All right? But by 1968, exactly 40 years later, 1968, my mother became a Republican. She changed her political affiliation because she was alarmed at what the left at the time was doing. By the way, I have spoken at my different meetings about the fact that my mother was one of the original walkaways. She refused to give in to what the Democrats were doing at the time. I will tell you, my father was a moderate Republican, but holy smokes, he did vote for Obama. God help us. So, I've been a registered Republican my whole adult life. My parents recognized the value of voting. So, I was taken 18 years old down to the Board of Elections of New York City to register to vote so that I can have an expression of what I'm supposed to do. I have done the same with my sons and my husband. We are all registered to vote, whether we vote one way or another. However, we do speak to the powers to be when we step into that voting booth and do what we have to do. Now, don't be surprised, but as a young adult, I thought Bill Clinton had the answer. Oh, crap. I voted for him both times. But when that whole story came out about Monica Lewinsky, I said no, absolutely not. So, what happened? I started walking away myself. So after a few years, I was offended by Hillary Rodham Clinton. How much do we like her? No. Because when that whole thing came out and they decided, oh yes, Monica Lewinsky is a product of a right-wing conspiracy, I went nuts. They'll do anything to get your vote, those lovely Democrats. Anyway, I'm sorry. So when Mrs. Clinton decides that she's going to run as a New York senator, she actually had the nerve to send me a letter demanding my vote because, after all, I'm a woman. You know what I wrote her back? I had the nerve to write her back, and I said, I don't vote for codependent people. You should have divorced him when you found out what the hell he was doing. Now, all right, so in the years since, I'm trying to stay to the script now, but you guys are really, really encouraging me here. In the years since, I have accepted that not everybody thought as I did, but right now, the left has really gone haywire. So I literally had to endure the Obama years. I was sick. I would cry with the injustices of the now infamous Fast and Furious. Who's mad at that? The persecution of conservatives by the IRS? Really? And most of all, tragically, the Benghazi scandal. What does it matter anymore? Really? However, you didn't find me protesting in the streets. I didn't wear no crazy hats, though I got one today. I just waited for a better day. I laid down my prayer life before the Lord and asked Him for a president that would represent me as an American. No extra rhetoric or violence because my champion didn't win. But Scripture tells us to pray for our leaders. So I'm going to do this, so pay attention. From the first letter of St. Paul to Timothy. First of all, then I ask for supplications, prayers, petitions, and thanksgivings be offered for everyone, for kings and all in authority, that we may lead a quiet and tranquil life in all devotion. But guess what? I still have to pray for our president, and I still have to pray for this governor who doesn't deserve it, but I'm committed to seeing him change his mind. Will he ever change his mind? Now, to be honest, I wasn't totally in support of President Trump, but not a day goes by that I do not thank God for the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. What did we get? We're working again. We're getting away from fuel dependency. We have a safer world. And then I look at my political landscape here in New York State. I am truly unhappy with this present pathway that New York State is taking with their progressive crap. We lost the New York State Senate, and now the floodgates of evil have opened up before us. So as Pastor Jody has said, in a few months, I will be joining others to protest the latest progressive garbage of this governor. I will not take up the issue of third trimester abortions here, but the issue is this. I'm proud that I'm going to be joining with other people of my faith, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to be in attendance on June 3rd with the March for Life in Albany, because we can only do so much virtually. Get away from your computers and move like we're doing today. Now, okay, watch out. Algunas palabras para mis compañeros en la comunidad hispana. Bienvenidos a todos que han venido lejos, muy lejos. Vamos a juntarnos para el beneficio de nuestra comunidad. Necesitamos liberar a nuestra comunidad de la esclavitud de ser demócratas. El Partido Demócrata de hoy en día quiere mantenernos en cadenas a ellos. Necesitamos guiar a nuestra gente a la verdadera libertad. No al socialismo, no al comunismo. Libertad y justicia para todos como Dios quiera para sus hijos y sus hijas. Bendiciones a todo el mundo por allá, okay? So, why am I doing this? You know, I want to tell you, I'm just a housewife. I work 9 to 5. Why am I here? Because as valuable as prayer is not enough. I am a woman of faith and a woman called to take action. God's will be done. Let's continue this momentum and encourage each other to speak to others so our current situation can be rectified and not worsen. As a Latina woman, I would encourage all minorities to seek the truth and turn away from the left, which is best represented as slaveholders on a plantation. Thank you, dear patriots. God bless you all. And God bless the United States of America and its president, Donald J. Trump.
That was unbelievable. How great was that? Holy, hey, you should have seen Sylvia on the train. Very quiet, very reserved, and she just came out here and killed it. That was unbelievable. All right, we got Raina coming back. She's going to sing another song for us. Is How Great Thou Art. I don't even know, but I'm going to bring the speaker up to another location. Maybe we can get some of our great deplorable friends in the back there to hear us. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to move the speaker over, and then Raina's going to take it away from us.
Get up on that barrier. Get up on the barrier. You can hear it better. Can't get up behind you on the barrier.
We're not allowed to stand up.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I went through all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I'm gonna get the medal of honor to give that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend us till today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up
God bless Donald Trump. Continuing on this theme, if we can remember at the beginning when we were doing, TRUMP, go Trump, that was Henry Davis. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Henry Davis, the laughing guy after the election. He's an African-American Trump supporter from the St. Louis area who has been a supporter of Trump since day one. He went viral. He does short vignettes. He does, and he's done so much. Candace Owens, so everybody know Candace Owens? We like Candace Owens? Very cool. Candace Owens is great, but she reached out to him and they started talking to each other, and eventually it culminated in Henry Davis going to the White House. There's a maybe after that. Let me see. Hey, I'm gonna use the bullhorn. Let me see. I don't want. Yeah. Where's is this it? Okay, does everyone hear me now? Everybody hear me a little bit better? Hey, I don't know whose idea it was to give me a bullhorn, but it was not a good idea. How about that? Okay. Wow, I got a bullhorn. So, where'd I start? Henry Davis went to the... Oh, look at this. Is that better or no? No. Okay, we're not doing that. We're going to recreate the wheel here. Okay. Henry Davis went to the White House during Black History Month for an event hosted by President Trump. You can check it out online. His Twitter is great. But the point of it is that among minorities, the president is doing very, very well. The unemployment rate, that's what I'm talking about. The unemployment rate among African Americans, Asians, Hispanics, and other minorities are at historic, let me repeat that, historic all-time lows. This has caused a ripple effect as minorities have been led on by the left that Republicans, and Trump specifically, was a racist who would keep them down. The Republicans would never be the party of minorities. The Republicans are Confederates from the old. Remember all that nonsense about us? Oh, no, they can't accept the Civil War. Wait, by the way, speaking of accepting consequences of things, that they still haven't accepted the fact that Donald J. Trump is the 45th president of the United States. They have been told that if your skin color is a different shade of white, if it's not white, that you have to be a Democrat. We know that that is nonsense. What we got here? Our next speaker will be explaining why that is a complete farce. Patriots, ladies and gentlemen, dregs of society, deplorables, whatever we want to call ourselves, please welcome Barbara from Harlem, who has some incredible words lined up for us. She is from Faith for Trump, and she is here to reinforce the idea that we are on the right side of history. Barbara.
I don't know, can you hear me? Or do I need the bullhorn? USA! 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 I don't know. I think they can hear me.
I think they can hear you.
Do I need the bullhorn? Give me both of them.
There you go.
Oh boy. Now, I don't know how to do this. Am I doing it right? Whatever. Speak through what? All right. Thank you, my darling. This is my lovely daughter. She always assists me. Good afternoon, Patriots. Good afternoon. If you can't hear me, raise your hand. Can everyone hear? What a joyful day for us to come out, and with the emphasis being unity. We have things going on in our country that are out of sorts, that are demonic, and that would destroy our American Republic. Our purpose today is to make sure we're all on the same page. Look at the faces of this crowd. We're different, but we're alike. We're young, we're old, we're in between, but we love America. If you love America, you will be supporting the President of the United States. He is doing wonderful things for this country, and he needs us to stand strong. He needs us to not waver. He needs us not to doubt. He needs us to be a formidable force for these evildoers that want to destroy our nation. We will not allow it. We were born free, and we're going to remain free. In 1961, Robert Welch, who was the founder of the John Birch Society, he was at a luncheon, a We the People luncheon, and he said that the only way, and I'm not going to quote it verbatim, that the American Republic can survive is if the principles are sufficiently understood by each succeeding or each future generation of American citizens. Amen. That means we have to teach people what freedom means. That means we have to teach them what your rights mean. That means we have to teach them what individuality means. We have to teach them that socialism is another form of slavery and failure. God bless this country. God made this country in the palm of his hand. And we cannot allow the evildoers of this generation to destroy what our forefathers and our foremothers gave to us. It's worth the battle. It's worth the fight. And we will be victorious. Because what they're proposing now, if it's not demonic, I don't know what is. Killing babies. You know, we've reached a new low. And as a registered Democrat, which I am, people wonder why I stay a Democrat. That's because when I talk to people in my urban area, I can tell them, I feel you. I know where you're coming from. I am one of you, but I will not vote for people who are anti-American. I will not vote for Marxists. I will not vote for godless heathens. I will vote for those who love this country. And we have a president who loves this country. We have a president who loves you, who loves me, and he hasn't even met us. But he loves Americans. He loves America. And we have to stand tall with him and beside him, because he is out there fighting a battle that he doesn't need to fight. He doesn't need to be involved in what he's involved with. And look at all of the forces that were against him. FBI, even some on the other side with the dossier. All of these false things came out against him because he can't be bought, and he's not a politician, and he's not a member of the swamp. He's one of us. Yes, he is. He speaks our language, and he really felt the pain of blacks, Hispanics, and others in this country. Now they're able to get jobs. Those who want to work are able to work and celebrate their personhood. He deserves our support. And I don't care if they call us deplorables. I love being a deplorable for the right reason. I don't know about you, but what's deplorable is what they're doing to children. What's deplorable is for them to say that America is only a wasteland. We're not defined by borders. That's deplorable. That's sickening. And those are lies. What's deplorable how they want to change the rules and lower the voting age to 16. All to increase their voter base. That's what it's for. And if they're any Democrats within the sound of my feeble voice. If you have any morals about you, you cannot vote for any of the Democrats that stand for the immorality that they are promoting. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop being loyal to a party. It's time to be loyal to our country, and most of all, loyal to the God that gave us America. Amen. God gave us a place where we can have freedom. We can have liberty. People from all over the world try to get to the shores of America. We're not running to get to Cuba. We're not running to Venezuela. We're not running to Africa. I know I'm not. I'm staying right here. We're not running to those countries, but they're running here. So come on, let's stay together. Come on, let's get stronger. Come on, every time a door opens or you kick one open, tell people about the goodness of the republic that is in America. Tell them to get rid of those Democrats who don't love this country, who are anti-God, anti-American, anti-freedom. Come on, and definitely anti-Israel.
Absolutely.
Let's tell them. Let's not stop telling them. Let's shout it from the rooftops. And let's stay on our cause to support our president. So in 2020, he will be reelected because we the people have stood up. We the people have spoken up. We the people will not be turned around or deferred. Call me what you want, but I know who I am. And I know that my blood is red, white, and it's blue. Thank you. God bless you, and you, and our youth. And may God, may Almighty God continue to bless America. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how great was Barbara from Harlem? That's what I'm talking about. I think she was excellent. I am excited. Let me just say it. I don't usually get like really shaky. I swear it's not shivering and it's not just the big cup of coffee that I had this morning. Barbara from Harlem got me fired up. Did she get you fired up? We have another song. Raina's going to sing for us, How Great Thou Art. We called a quick audible before when we had God Bless the USA. So Raina's going to sing for us, and then we're going to move on to another speaker. So let's give it up for Raina one more time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Raina one more time. Hey, I got a friend of mine up here handing out bumper stickers that says "Make New York Great Again" because we desperately need it. So come get one from my friend up here. He's got them, and let's wear them proud. Let's put them on everything we own. Thank you, bud. All right, our next speaker is somebody who put this whole thing together. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for his hard work. Something that means a whole heck of a lot to me is something that he is going to talk about. How many of you guys understand what is going on in our schools? We have a bunch of children and kids that are going through our schools that are being told how to think, that are being told what to think, that are coming home and reciting a bunch of brainwashing and garbage that is absolutely poisoning them, their individuality, their identity, and everything that makes kids kids. I remember when I was young, I used to run around, I was all happy, I was, high energy, basically a smaller version of what I am now. I mean, to be honest, I was just loud, I wouldn't stop talking, I got in trouble a lot, the principal and I were on a first name basis, it was the whole thing. But one big problem that we are having, here comes this cement truck, one big problem that we are having in this country is the fact that youth, look at this guy, that is a real hard-working American in that cement truck right there. Hey buddy in the cement truck, honk your horn. He can't hear me. Honk your horn, honk your horn, honk your horn, honk your horn. Honk your... Oh, wow. Did you do it? No. Okay. He did a little bit. All right, one thing that has really bothered me about the movement that we have an issue. The grand old party is really becoming an old party. The kids, the youth, everybody with all the energy, they're hearing free stuff, free college, free healthcare, and they don't care about anything that Donald J. Trump stands for. We know that that's complete nonsense. So without further ado, I'm going to give it up, and I'm going to give it and turn it over to Aiden Rowan, who organized this entire event. He's going to talk to you about what it's like to be a young, powerful, energetic, conservative, and a devout supporter of President Trump. Give it up for Aiden.
Good afternoon, Americans, patriots, and Trump supporters. I cannot put into words how thrilled I am to be here today and to be able to address you at this event. It has been a long couple of months, but let me tell you all something. It was worth it. We are here today, I'm sure, for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is to support our country and support its president. This event did not come easy. This event had a bumpy road to get where we are today. I cannot begin to tell you how many phone calls to Republican and conservative leaders across the states of Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. We have people here from many other places. I stand here today with my team, a group of New Yorkers from all over the state who I found through this event. People that identify as New Yorkers. We have Long Islanders, Rocklanders, citizens from upstate New York City, and even New Jersey, who are in similar situations that we are in. I stand here today as a 17-year-old senior in high school, ready to speak to the teen who is preparing to register to vote. I speak for the kid who is being raised in a divided country, and to tell you that as a young person, our president is doing this for us. He has kids and grandkids that are our ages, and he wants them to be raised in an America similar to the one that he once grew up in. Don't let the mainstream media discourage you. Our vote matters, and with so much hate in this... Oh wait, I speak to the little girls and little boys who are growing up in a nation under so much pressure, and with so much hate in this world. One thing for all kids to remember is that no matter who the president is, what political party you identify with, we are all Americans. And that is one thing that we will always be. To all the kids here today and at home, you are being protected by one great country and one great president who won't let socialism come to America. We, with the uprising progressive movement, our American values that have been cherished for so many years are under attack. Just like some of you, my grandparents came here in 1963 from Ireland. They bought a business in Queens and then moved to the suburbs of Rockland and opened a second business. They bought a car, a house, and raised 5 kids and lived the true American dream. Today, my grandma, now a widow, still lives here and continues to tell her story to her grandkids and soon-to-be great-grandkids about how she actively sought citizenship and honored the system to come here legally to be a part of the greatest country in the world. My grandmother proudly voted as an immigrant who came here legally for Donald J. Trump. Here today, I stand with all of you, the American people from the Northeast who voted for President Trump and will continue to vote for him once again in 2020. I am so proud of what me and my team have done, but none of it would have been possible without you and your support by coming here today and donating on the GoFundMe. I thank you all so much for coming to the beautiful city of New York, run by the worst mayor in the country. In supporting our president, I can't believe our turnout. My work doesn't stop here. I'm just getting started. I hope you will all follow me on my journey to do right things in Albany and in Washington. Thank you all for coming. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Yes. Next up, we have a speaker, and we're so proud that he's here. Brandon Strzok of the Walk Away campaign. Everybody give him a nice warm welcome.
Do you have to hold anything besides this, or you're good?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull some stuff out of my pocket. Okay. How do I use this? We're talking to this? Hello? Can you all hear me? Hello, New York! My name is Brandon Strzok.
Use the megaphone.
Say what?
Use the megaphone.
I am, sweetie. I am. My name is Brandon Strzok. I started the Walk Away campaign, and let me tell you a few things about myself. I'm a gay man, but I'm a lot more than that. I am not a racist. I am not a bigot. I am not a homophobe. And I am not a Democrat. But I sure used to be, and I regret that. You're catching me on a day where I'm a little pissed off, and I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you, yeah, you know why. Some of you know why. All that the Walkaway campaign wants to do is open the minds and the hearts and free the minds and hearts of liberals and people on the left in America. People who have been enslaved by liberal ideology. That includes especially minority groups in America. For that reason, the Walkaway campaign is having 2 events this week. They are both town hall style events. The first is this Wednesday, March 27th at the Magic Johnson Theater in Harlem. We are screening a documentary movie we made about Black Americans who are walking away from the Democratic Party. We got some right here too. Visual aids. Thank you, Barbara. This is a free event. It will be followed by a town hall in the theater discussing with the citizens of Harlem why Black Americans are voting Democrat at a rate of 90%. One moment. Can you hold this, please? Somebody. Thank you. Let's talk about a few things. Black Americans are voting Democrat at a rate of 90%, and yet 38%, I can't read that, 38% of Black children are living in poverty, 73%, there's a 73% single motherhood rate in the Black community, 36% of all aborted children are Black children, 40% of Black people are living on government assistance, and more Black babies are aborted in New York City than born alive. Wrap your head around that for a minute. Yet 90% of Black people are voting Democrat. We want to get the citizens of Harlem together in one room and have a discussion and ask a question. Why? Why are you voting Democrat? What are these people doing for you? Now, let me tell you why I'm really pissed off, because the very next day, Thursday, March 28th, we're holding the first ever LGBT town hall. Why? Because more than 80% of LGBT people are voting Democrat. The liberal media uses lies, fear, and manipulation to keep us divided, to keep us hating each other, and to keep these communities believing that they don't have a seat at the table on the right. And we want to change all of that. So we scheduled an event at the LGBT Center here in New York City. And a liberal mob formed around our event. The liberal media started reporting that I am a white nationalist, a white supremacist, a Nazi, a bigot, and they called my organization a hate group. A mob of leftists formed a petition saying that our event at the LGBT Center must be canceled because we are dangerous to the LGBT community. Read the petition, which I will provide on my Twitter account. It has been signed by the Democratic Socialists of America and a bunch of conglomerates of wealthy liberals who are trying to prevent the gay community from knowing that they have a choice, that they do not have to be Democrat. And the LGBT Center buckled and canceled the LGBT Town Hall. They didn't call me on the phone. They didn't send me an email. I found out on Twitter that my event had been canceled through a statement that the LGBT Center put out, agreeing that we are a hate group, that we are white nationalists, white supremacists, that we are homophobic, that we are racist, that we are transphobic. My panel for the LGBT Town Hall is a white gay man, a Black gay man, a Jewish gay man, and a transgender female. Put it together. What I'm trying to tell you here today is that the Democratic Party has been co-opted by militant, tyrannical leftists.
Yes, they have.
Progressives in America are fascist. The Democratic Party is co-opted by socialist fascists, and we must fight back. Thank God we have a president in the office who is on our side and sees the truth. As a gay man, I am told that I am not allowed to support President Donald Trump because of my sexuality. And to that I say, what does my sexuality have to do with supporting the greatest president who's been in office in my lifetime? a president who actually cares about the black community, who actually cares about brown people, who actually cares about white people and straight people and gay people and all Americans. That's right. That's right. This president needs our help more than ever. America needs our help more than ever. We have to buckle down and support President Trump because I am fearful of what a country will look like in 2024 if we elect a Democrat lunatic leftist to be the president of the United States of America, or any other office for that matter. We have seen what has happened to New York City alone under Democratic Party policies. We've seen what happens to minority communities who are voting Democrat at rates of 80, 90%. These communities are decimated. All Americans do better under a system of capitalism. All Americans do better when they're not given messages constantly that they are victims, that they're living in a society that oppresses them, that they don't have the same chance that everybody else has because of the color of their skin, their gender, or their sexual orientation. These are lies of the liberal left. Thank God for Donald Trump, who is cutting through the politically correct bullshit nonsense, who is telling the truth, and who is going to make America great again and keep America great. God bless Donald Trump. Let me tell you something. I want everybody in this group right here now to please support the mission of what we're doing with the Walkaway campaign. It is so vitally important. Go to walkawaycampaign.com. Check us out and see who we are. We are trying to free every minority in America from the bondage and slavery of the Democratic Party. We are going to break the chains of the Democratic Party, and we are going to wake up everybody, but especially minorities in America. We are going to do it this Wednesday with the first ever Harlem Town Hall at the Magic Johnson Theater at 8 p.m. It's a free screening of our movie, The Great Awakening, Breaking the Chains of the Democratic Party, the story of 20 black Americans walking away from the Democratic Party. Come to this event. Walkawaycampaign.com. Click on events and get free tickets. Bring everybody you know to support this event. And also, step up and support us now. Hey, media, conservative media, where the hell are you? Where are you? Right now, I am being labeled a white nationalist, a white supremacist. The Walkaway campaign is being labeled a hate group. Conservative media, where the hell are you? Walkawaycampaign.com. Support this event. God bless all of you, and God bless Donald Trump. Let's keep America great. USA! 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 Walk away! Walk away! Walk away! Walk away!